What do a wolf-raised warrior, a love-struck king who split a church, a queen born into crisis, a physics breakthrough, and a revolution in art and identity all have in common? They all happened on the same day, April 21st. Some days whisper, others thunder. This one carved 5 bold exclamation marks into the timeline. This is marked by history. And today, we step through 5 unforgettable moments, all born on April 21st. The year is 753 BCE. But this isn't a date on a royal decree. It's the moment myth becomes foundation. In the hills of central Italy lies Alba Longa. A small kingdom, a royal family, and a dark betrayal. A tyrant overthrows the rightful king and forces his niece, Rhea Silvia, into the priesthood, sworn to remain a virgin. But the god Mars has other plans. She gives birth to twins, Romulus and Remus. They are condemned at birth, set afloat in a basket on the Tiber River. They should have died. But a she-wolf finds them and nurses them in her den on the Palatine Hill. Eventually, a shepherd raises them as his sons. The boys grow into warriors, leaders. They reclaim their past and set out to build a city where their story began. But pride splits the vision. Romulus chooses the Palatine. Remus, the Aventine. A quarrel turns to violence. Remus mocks the wall. Romulus raises the sword. Brother strikes brother. And Romulus stands alone. He names the city Rome. And so it begins. An empire that would stretch across continents. Shape law, architecture, warfare, and faith. Rome would create roads that reach distant lands, a legal system studied to this day, and an identity so strong, Roman became a civilization, not just a citizen. It would inspire emperors and republics for generations to come. And Romans would forever mark April 21st as the birthday of a civilization. A date that echoed through time. April 21st, 1509. In the quiet corridors of Richmond Palace, King Henry VII draws his final breath. He ruled England for 24 years, bringing peace after the chaos of the Wars of the Roses. With his death, a new chapter begins. His son, Henry VIII, is just 17, handsome, athletic, a scholar and musician. And while his official accession comes on April 22nd, it is this day, April 21st, that marks the moment of transformation. The Tudor crown passes from a cautious king who saved every coin and every alliance, to a young ruler who will gamble with hearts, thrones, and even churches. Henry marries his brother's widow, Catherine of Aragon, seeking stability. And perhaps, love. But with no male heir, frustration brews. He falls for Anne Boleyn, and when the Pope blocks his divorce, Henry breaks away from the Catholic Church entirely. He crowns himself head of the Church of England. He dissolves monasteries, seizes their wealth, and reshapes faith across the nation. 2 of his 6 wives are executed. Laws are rewritten. England is never the same. This reign, both magnificent and ruthless, began in the shadow of April 21st, 1509. The day the old king died, and the future storm took the throne. Henry VIII would not just inherit power. He would reinvent it. Now, we turn to 1820. Copenhagen. In a modest classroom, physicist Hans Christian Ørsted prepares a simple demonstration. A wire. A battery. A compass. As electricity flows through the wire, Ørsted notices something curious: the compass needle moves. It responds to the current. Until this moment, electricity and magnetism were thought to be entirely separate. But what Ørsted observes is a new force of nature, electromagnetism. He doesn't know it yet, but he's opened the door to an entirely new world. This moment would inspire giants like Faraday and Maxwell, and lay the foundation for electric motors, generators, telegraphs, radios, computers, MRI machines, cell phones, and the entire modern grid. Our modern age runs on this force. An invisible interaction that moves the world. It powers our cities, nourishes our curiosity, and connects billions. The world of physics would never look the same. And it all began, in a quiet classroom, on April 21st. April 21st, 1910. A great American voice falls silent. Mark Twain, born Samuel Clemens, dies at the age of 74. He was more than an author. He was a mirror held up to America. Funny, flawed, and fiercely honest. He gave us Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, and a voice that spoke plainly yet powerfully. About race, politics, childhood, and conscience. But Twain had one last surprise. Before his death, he left behind an autobiography. Not just a book, but a bold request: don't publish the full version until 100 years after I'm gone. Why? Because Twain wanted to be brutally honest. About everyone and everything. No filters. No fear. In 2010, exactly a century later, his unexpurgated autobiography is finally released. It becomes a bestseller. In its pages, Twain exposes hypocrisy, critiques war and religion, and reflects on a lifetime of laughter and loss. His voice ended on April 21, 1910. But thanks to that final wish, his story didn't stop. It simply paused. One last chapter. Published from the grave. April 21, 1926. London. A baby girl is born to the Duke and Duchess of York. Her name, Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor. At birth, she is third in line to the throne. Hardly expected to rule. But fate rewrites the script. Her uncle abdicates. Her father becomes king. And by age 25, she becomes Queen Elizabeth II. For 70 years, she serves as monarch. She is a witness to World War II, the fall of empires, the digital revolution, the transformation of the monarchy. Her reign is one of tradition and transformation. Of televised addresses and tabloid storms. She meets 15 British prime ministers, over 100 world leaders, and becomes the world's most photographed and recognized woman. Her image becomes an icon. Her presence, a constant. Through it all, she remains a symbol of grace, of loyalty, of quiet strength. The second longest reigning monarch in world history was born not in a palace, but in a townhouse on April 21. And the world would never look at monarchy the same way again. So what do we make of April 21? A day of beginnings and endings. A city. A king. A discovery. A storyteller. A queen. From ancient legends to electric futures, from royal births to literary deaths, this date has shaped the world in ways seen and unseen. It's a reminder that history isn't always loud. Sometimes, it begins with a crown, a classroom, or a carefully chosen word. So now we ask you, which April 21 moment surprised you most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more deep dives through time. Right here on Marked by History. Because every date has a story. And some have 5.